All right. Good evening. I'll just briefly run through my slides to talk about what Enchant NFT is about, and then I'll spend the rest of the time for a quick demo. So our project name is called EnchaNFT. So from the name, I guess it comes from enchant and NFT, right? We want to give NFT more flavor and more magic. So why composable NFT in the first place? Traditionally, I think despite the hyper growth of NFT adoption since in the last 2 years, NFT is largely just used as a static token with visual representation and functionalities, right? People could use it as a membership or a pass if you only give you a certain privilege, and other than that, you have a set of metadata that give you some cosmetic or visual properties, right? They're nice to look, so that's why they attract people to collect them. And but from the first principle, right, NFT are really object on the internet, right? They are programmable and they're interoperable. So we thought, just like what composability unlocks the DeFi in a DeFi summer, we thought, on the protocol level, composability are gonna really unlock the true power of NFT. So let's be more specific, right? If you look at the TradeFi or example of rare collectible items in real life, for example, like the stamps, rare stamps, or jewelry made from precious metals, right? They both possess both intrinsic value as well as rarity value, in the sense that they, even if you are not a collector, they still worth something, right? For example, the gold jewelry, you can measure their value really by their weight, right? And for the stamps or anything with a face value, you can just use their utility as it is, and in a sense, value them as such. So how does that compare to NFT, right? NFT, mostly they are traded by their intrinsic, by their rarity value or cosmetic, aesthetic value alone, right? So what composability, how does composability change that, right? So Enchant protocol allows you to combine NFT with other NFTs or NFT with fungible tokens, right? So in the specific case of NFT combining fungible token, we actually changed the value formula, or how we evaluate the value of NFTs, because now it possesses both intrinsic value as well as rarity value. Let's say we enchant or inject 100 SOL or 1 ETH into a particular NFT. Now the NFT definitely worth more than 1 ETH or the amount of fungible token injected, right? Because you have to factor into the both intrinsic value as well as the rarity value. So the specific use case would be, let's say, market making for NFT, because once we embed fungible token into the NFT, you basically create a hot floor price, right? So since the protocol allows the user to recover fungible token from the NFT, there's no way it will fall below that floor price, right? And in the case of NFT plus NFT embeddings, right, we are able to create a certain tree structure that combines properties of different NFT. For example, you have an NFT pass that gives you a certain privilege, right? But you have another NFT that looks nice. So now you can actually combine them, right? So NFT can have really endless possibilities. And so I'll just briefly go through what the demo is about. So for the first feature, we create something called synthetic NFT. So in the sense that we allow users to create any NFT of existing NFT, basically create a copy of it. But so that would worth zero, right? Because it's not the authentic original version. But at the same time, we allow you to embed a fungible token, right? So now the synthetic NFT actually worth something, right? And it looks identical comparing to the original version. So we thought that's pretty cool. And the other one is we allow you to really embed NFT in other NFT, right? So for example, just like the first thing mentioned, right? Maybe you have a DAO member for a fitness center, right? Now you can combine that NFT into your like favorite profile pic project, right? So now that the project pic NFT has both the privilege of a gym membership as well as the NFT profile pic that you like, right? So that and the NFT embedded also can have other embeddings. So the structure is basically a recursive graph or tree of NFTs. And that's just the first version, right? So we want to build a tool, and we thought for the fungible token embedding, we can create a small NFT ecosystem where we have a hard floor price. So in the sense that that's save a lot of energy from the project team for market making, so they don't have to sweep the floor price for the purpose of market making and focus on building a product, right? And after that, we want to launch a marketplace. So the ideal, the intent is that because current wallet or marketplace doesn't really support the rich metadata or embeddings of NFT that we intend to build. For example, the wallet doesn't really show like how many NFTs was embedded. So we want to have native support for what we call EnchaNFT. Using Launchpad and Marketplace. And once that happens, right, the enchanted NFT with hard floor price or fungible token as embedding can actually be used for lending collaterals. Because now, let's say if your NFT have 1 ETH as embedding, right, so we can definitely liquidate it at that NFT for 1 ETH instantly. So comparing to how it's currently been done, it's definitely a lot simpler, right? So again, I think the vision of the project is based on the fact that, NFT is really this fundamental layer of blockchain data, right? So unlike, in Web2 space, data is hidden behind a set of API or access for a certain centralized company. Now it's really object on the internet that's able to, be programmed and interop in between different applications. So we saw the real potential of NFT is yet to be unlocked. So let me just jump into the demo. Can you see the web page? Yeah, so as hopefully you guys can see, so the first feature I want to show is how we can create synthetic NFT of existing NFT. So this is currently live on Solana DevNet. Okay, now it seems to be slow. Let me change a different image. Right. Yeah, so we can just select one of the existing NFT, then we can assign the value of it. Like this is the amount of fungible token we want to embed into the NFT, and can just confirm the transaction. And that's it. So now this is a synthetic NFT we just created. And you can see that there's 0.1 SOL embedded in this NFT, right? So the nice thing is that you can actually extract or burn the NFT to recover the fungible token you just injected. The second feature is we are able to combine different NFT. I actually already have one.
Hi, EnchaNFT. So sorry to interrupt you, but the 10 minutes is up. So thanks a lot for your presentation. So we'll proceed with the Q&A session. Judges, you can step up. You can feel free to start filling in the Google form. If you have any questions, step up to the microphone and ask any questions or give any feedback that you can think of.